Good evening. It is May 6th and it's 9 past 10 o'clock. And I have officially completed 72 hours of fasting. 72 hours of no food. And the last 56 to 58 hours was no water. So um, it's been quite a challenge, but I don't regret it at all. Y'all, God is so good. Yesterday, I came on here and I felt like I was speaking prematurely because I felt like God had been quiet during this fast. But when I tell you today, all day long, I have been receiving revelation after revelation after revelation. And it's just, I'm so thankful. But at the same time, I almost want to be disappointed in myself because it took so long for me to get to this point. And one thing I'm learning about God is you're going to have to go through it to grow through it. And I'm learning to be okay with that. Um, this fast was more than just, initially I thought it was just about food and about healing. And it still is about that. He verified that today. But it not only was it about healing my body and mind and soul, or mind and spirit, it was also about um, getting rid of the strongholds that, or the chokeholds that had me running to everything for comfort except Him. And when I say, now that I've completed this fast, when I look back, like God has been orchestrating this since January. Like it's incredible just to reflect and think on how all of this is played out. And so I want to, I don't know if I'll be able to say everything. I've got so many notes and I've organized them, but I don't want to turn this into a mini movie. But so at the beginning of the year, not the very beginning, but like halfway through January, I wrote a prayer on January 14th. And that prayer changed everything for me. That is when all of this started. When I say God has been orchestrating this since January, I mean it. So I mentioned yesterday that the first time I did, well, either yesterday or the day before, but the first time I did this fast this year was in January, and it was not intentional, at least not on my part. It was God orchestrating it, and I'll get into that in another video. But I fasted for 3 days unintentionally. Y'all, this is some kind of crazy bug right here. I'm sorry. I fasted for 3 days unintentionally. And I wasn't taking my insulin because in my mind I didn't need to take any insulin since I wasn't eating. But I ended up in the hospital with DK. Now, so that kind of made me leery of fasting since I was insulin dependent. But God has been nudging me to fast all this time. I just didn't have the discipline to do it. So I wrote this prayer on January 14th. Within 2 weeks, everything in that prayer got answered. And because God is a good God, He saw how foolish I was with my blessings. And one by one, He took them all away from me. And during this entire process, like yesterday I say, He's using what's in my own home that I can't run away from. And the person that He's using is my nephew. Now, I'm not going to put his business out there, at least not without his mother's permission. I don't mind telling it, but I haven't asked for permission, so I won't in this video. But my nephew, God has been using my nephew to hold up a mirror in front of me since January. And I'm just now realizing that today, that everything about him, his behavior, what he's been doing, is a reflection of what I have been going through internally. And it's like I've been praying every day. I've been praying for him to speak to me. I've been praying for him to tell me what he wants from me, tell me what he wants me to do. And it's like I'm not getting the memo. It's just, I asked God to put it in a language that I understand. And at the end of the day, God's gonna do what he wanna do. So I some things I've got to learn how he communicates. Is the thing, he is the superior figure here. He is the authority figure. He has the upper hand, and I'm the one coming to him needing everything. So I'm gonna have to bend to his will, and I'm learning that. In the beginning, he was putting things in a way that I understood, but I was using that as a crutch. I was using my understanding as a crutch for obeying him, as a crutch for going to him. And that is not what he wanted. God wants a genuine relationship with me. So all of these things that have been going on in my home has been a reflection of not just the inner turmoil I'm experiencing, but it's also been a reflection of my relationship with God. And um, it's so much to say. Um, so he's had this big mirror up basically, and what this fast has allowed me to do is to slow down, quiet my flesh, and eliminate all of the distractions that was interrupting me from hearing him clearly. So when I prayed and asked God to put it in a language that I understood, you know, I was asking for him to dumb it down, like ABC 1 2 3. Talk to me like that because I don't understand you. But that's not what he did. I mean, he put it in a language I understood. He put it in my face, like point blank in my face. But the problem was I wasn't listening because I was so distracted. I was still running to my comforts. Food, the main ones was food and cigarettes. So I was still running to those comforts. He took those comforts away. Once he took those comforts away, I started. He didn't take away the food. That didn't happen until the fast. I had to do that with his help. And so he took away the cigarettes, but I was still running to food. He took away my provision, which I was working, and the whole point of the provision was to take those resources and steward it into the purpose that he gave me. And because I was stewarding them toward money and cigarettes, I'm sorry, I was stewarding the money towards food and cigarettes. He took away the cigarettes first, he took away the provision next, and then it just got to a point where I had the nudge to fast was just so strong that I had to do it. So during this fast, I quieted my flesh, I eliminated the distractions, and I focused solely on him. And he just flooded me with everything I needed to know. So like this fast wasn't about me dropping weight. I didn't even weigh myself. The only thing I was really tracking was my blood sugar, and it's been great the entire time. Um, but he wanted me to drop the idols that I had: the food, the comfort, the control. I was loyal to everything but him. And even though I didn't have any food and I barely had any water, I had a few sips of water the first day, but after that, no more water. And my blood sugar has been fine. I feel fine. I finally got a full night's rest, thank God. And I felt great all day. My energy has been up all day. I didn't need to take a nap. It's just been wonderful. But the more I sat in the silence, that's another thing I did. I sat in silence. And normally I play worship music, um, generally all day. I play worship music, but I didn't do that. I may have played it 2 songs today. But for the most part, I was quiet. And in that quietness, I finally got quiet and still enough to actually hear him. He's been talking to me this entire time, but I haven't been listening because I've been so distracted. But I'll go back to January. So my nephew, at the same time I was in the hospital in January, my nephew's behavior changed. It was suddenly. There was nothing to. The only thing we could think that triggered it was my absence, because he gets accustomed to people, and when those people are removed, he reacts. So, and it wasn't like I left him. I got sick and hospitalized, and I was in another state. I wasn't at home. So, but once I got back home, well, when I was away, he wasn't eating. The whole time I was away, he wasn't eating. He was fasting. Hint number one. I was fasting as well, because in the hospital I couldn't keep down any food. Anytime I swallowed anything, even my own spit, I would throw up. So, hint number one to fast. When I got back home, he started back eating, but his eating was out of control. It was very gluttonous type behavior, like eating till you throw up. Now, I've never eaten till I've thrown up, but you don't get to 300 pounds without being gluttonous. So I was definitely, and had a bad habit of overeating. I had a bad habit of comfort eating, and it doesn't matter what my emotion was, food was going to be involved. That was just that. I've been that way my entire adult life, and that's been a huge problem for me. But he would go from not eating to overeating, not eating to overeating. It would, like, each one would last like a week at a time. So it's like he's showing me a mirror of what I'm doing, what I need to be doing, and what I'm doing through my nephew. And it's like when my nephew's behavior was getting out of hand, it's like nothing we did could correct it. And it's like he was showing he was stubborn, he was hard-headed, and he couldn't be trusted. Those were the three things I gathered from my nephew. And that's exactly how I was with God. I was hard-headed because I wouldn't listen. He would tell me what to do. He told me to fast back in January. He told me to start these videos back in January. I didn't start the videos until April, and I didn't start fasting until 3 days ago. Just stubborn and hard-headed and can't be trusted. He answered my prayers, and I still didn't do what he told me to do. I could not be trusted with what he provided me to do. So he didn't take my purpose away from me. I still have that, but he put it on hold, because now he's building me up into the type of woman that can carry that kind of purpose and not lose sight of him. I never want to lose sight of God. I want a genuine relationship with God. And right now, well, one of my biggest struggles with my relationship with God is viewing him as transactional. And I don't like that, but that's how I learned what love is. It's always tit for tat. It's like, you do this for me, I'll do this for you. Like, and it doesn't matter if it's parent, child, husband, wife, brother, sister, job, employee. Which that's not love, but just any type of relationship dynamic. It's always transactional, and that's not how God operates. In the Bible, I think it's 2 Corinthians, where it gives a description of what love is. That's the type of love I want. And I'm only going to... God is the foundation of that love. That's how he loves. And I want to love him back the way that he loves me. So I have to get out of my mind that he is transactional. You know, when I was younger, growing up and learning about God, when you wanted something, when you needed something, you go pray to God. Nobody ever taught me about relationship. And God wanting your heart, God wanting our heart, God wanting relationship with us is all throughout the Bible. And no one ever taught me this. So now, you know, I've always heard that we're God's children, but I've never really viewed him in that aspect. I've never really viewed him as that type of father. And it may be because I didn't have an example on earth. Like, I didn't really have a relationship with my dad. So, and like I say, understanding something is helps me learn better and make better choices. But God doesn't want me to lean on my understanding, so He's teaching me His ways. So I have to learn His ways, and I'm learning from scratch. And I'm okay with that, you know. Another thing I'm learning is the understanding is gonna come after the fact, and I'm okay with that too. It's just it's a learning curve because I'm so accustomed to classroom learning. I'm so accustomed to getting the understanding first, then being tested. But it's like God tests me first, then he gives me a command, He tests me, then I get understanding. So, and that's another thing. That's another thing. That I got from the Bible. It's First Corinthians 3:19. The wisdom of this world is foolishness to God, and yeah, it is. Like when I first started this, like I honestly grew up thinking I was a good person because people always told me, you know, I was a good kid. Because I was quiet. I went to school, did my work, and you know, in elementary school you get uh, grades for conduct. My conduct was always perfect because I never did anything. And so I went into adulthood thinking these things made me a good person. And when I tell you, when I started walking with God, no, no, the world's definition of good and God's definition of good are worlds apart. We talking Mercury and Pluto. Like no, they really ain't even in the same universe. What God says is good and what society tells us is good. So and that is humbling. That was very humbling because you know all this time I'm thinking I'm a good person. Oh, my heart was just. He's still working on my heart. It was not a nice place. It really wasn't. Um, you know, but yeah, I was thinking I was good because I wasn't out here committing crimes. I wasn't out here being deceitful and trying to manipulate people and abuse people and use people. And that's great. We definitely shouldn't do those things, but just that alone does not make someone good. And I had to learn that. Whew, goodness, y'all, it's a lot. I'm probably gonna have to end up doing another video because this is it's it's too much. But yeah. So oh, another thing I learned obedience. So this fast was obedience was a big lesson, but again, because I keep trying to view God as transactional. In the beginning, my obedience was solely because I was looking for a blessing. And that's trying to use and manipulate God. God is not a fool. He is not going to go for that. And He let me know that. So right now, I'm at a point where I'm learning how to love God and I'm learning how to be obedient to God simply because of who He is, because He is my Father. I can remember being a little girl and wanting to please my parents, completely trusting my parents, completely listening to my parents, simply because they were my parents. I didn't know anything about them providing for me. I didn't know anything about them paying bills or, you know, them buying the food that I was eating. I was completely oblivious to that. I just knew they were my parents, they were taking care of me, and they told me that they loved me. So that little girl is the version of me I'm trying to get back to so I can go to God that way. Because right now it's like I'm viewing Him just as a sovereign God and I'm obeying, you know, out of fear. And that's not a healthy relationship. That's not a loving relationship. And He wants a loving relationship with me. And He's working with me on that. Like, this is how much love and patience He has with me. And it's just it's incredible to experience. It's incredible to feel and see because He's not giving up on me. As many times as I have disobeyed Him, like in the earth, in the world, it, I see on social media so many times how parents, they're fed up with their children. They're kicking their children out of the house even before they're 18 because you know, the children don't respect them, the children don't obey their rules, and it's like you can do that to God incessantly. And he's still gonna love you, and if you truly come back to him, his arms are just open. And it's so hard for my mind to comprehend it because I've never experienced that with another human. And he I gotta find this scripture. He calls us to love each other the way he loves us. Now that doesn't mean, like, I'm not advocating accepting abuse from people, but or staying in a harmful situation. That's no, nobody said that. Okay, here it is. 1 Corinthians 13:4-7, where it describes love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, it does not boast. You can go read it. Um, that's the kind of love that God has for all of us. And he's teaching me how to develop that love within myself and reflect it not only back towards him, but to the people around me, the people in the world, people I encounter, because I'm going to need that type of love in order to carry his purpose. I'm going to need to learn the obedience and the endurance to fulfill his assignment, to fulfill the assignment that he's given me. And it's, yeah, I don't know. It's just, it's so much I want to say, but I my mind is moving faster than my mouth is able to. And what I didn't want to do was read. That's probably what I should have done though, but it'll be okay. Um, but yeah, this almost 20 minutes, so I'm just gonna wrap it up. But I do intend to break my fast tonight with um, fruit and water. So, but yeah, I'm thankful for this entire experience. It was rough sitting in the discomfort, but the clarity. I see what people are talking about, how fasting brings clarity. If you just cut out the distractions, quiet the flesh, get rid of the distractions in your environment, and just sit still and talk to God and listen to God, he'll tell you everything you need to know. And it's been great. I definitely intend to continue this. Um, I really want to make a lifestyle of fasting. Maybe not, 3 days every time, maybe 24 hours, but or as he calls me to do it. But um, yeah, it's been amazing. So if you want to fast, please do it, please. And you don't have to go no food. Just if you can pick one thing that you are severely attached to and go without it, do that. And the time you spend focusing on whatever that thing is, spend it with God. Spend it in solitude, spend it in silence, and spend it with God. And yeah, he'll change everything for you.